What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all. I just saw a picture of y'all know G Herbo, aka Lil Herb, Chicago rapper, Chicago drill artist. I saw a picture of his son throwing down GD, right? And I've seen his son do this on several different occasions. And Herb is standing right there with his son in a picture, acting like it's nothing, not chastising his son for doing it. You know what I mean? Not telling him no, it's not okay. In fact, I think probably Herb the one that taught him how to do it. Herb does it so much in his videos, and you know what I mean, and on Instagram and so on and so forth. I think maybe either his son picked up on it or he showed his son how to do it. Nonetheless, that shit is horrible parenting. Horrible parenting at its finest, right? And I can sit here and tell y'all that, yes, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Yes, I enjoy G Herbo's music. Yes, I'm a fan of his music. But that's some terrible ass parenting. Because there is no way, even if I was a street dude, and I'm the furthest thing away from a street dude, right? But even if I was, I would never want my son to try to pick up the habits that I have. I would never want him to engage in some of the crazy things that I've done and me and my friends have done, which has led to some of our friends being killed. You know what I mean? Like Herb's homies, several of his friends have gotten killed from throwing down GD, right? You know what I mean? And not just throwing down GD, but, you know, and of course, disrespect to other sets throughout Chicago, so on and so forth, right? But they be throwing down GD, dropping GD. And to have your son doing it, come on, man. That's not a path you want your son to go down. That's nothing I could ever co-sign. I don't care if you was the biggest gang member of the biggest gangs, right? I don't care about none of that. That is not okay. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, that's real street. You got your son disrespecting an entire gang, throwing down the gang. Come on, man. I know he's a kid, but that's just the wrong message to send to your child. And that is exactly how young kids grow up watching because I don't care what nobody say, man. Young boys idolize their fathers for the most part. When they have an active father in their life, and Herb seems to be an active father, for real. They idolize their father, especially when your father can provide all these nice things for you. He takes you nice places, does nice activities for you and your siblings. You will grow up idolizing your father and wanting to be and act like your father. So if your father was a street dude and he did street stuff, the kids grow up wanting to do just the same like their parents. Case in point, man, I saw Chicago rapper. That's a picture of Lil Reese, throwing up BD. He was like 3 years old, 3 or 4 years old, right? And from what I know, allegedly, Reese's father was a black disciple as well. And it's like, well, of course, your son want to be a big, outstanding member of the black disciples because you were, because his father was, which creates a cycle of nonsense that needs to stop. There's no way, like, and I feel bad for your son because your son that's the name of, that's Herb's son's name, your son. It's like your mama is twerking on you, dancing and twerking on you, throwing her ass every single way, every which way on you, and in every video in the clubs and all that, and she dancing all up on you, which is weird, right? And then your daddy got you out here dropping GD. It's like, fam, no, that is not... come on, man. That's not okay. That's not cool. You know what I mean? I have a son. I want my son. I was a square kid. I want my son to be the same way. Stay in your books. You can participate in sports. Yeah, it's okay for you to like some girls and all that and everything. I don't want you to be having sex at no young age, though. But yeah, man, be a regular kid. Lead a kid's life. I don't want him trying to be no street dude. Like, what? For real, like, come on, man. And I know Herb got his son out living far away from Chicago, Illinois. Far away from the heinous crimes in the hoods that he grew up in. But yet and still, why would you want to try to teach your child gang ways? Why would you want to teach your child, like, ways to disrespect another gang? That's not okay. That's not, like, no, man. Like, I would never want my son to be doing nothing like that. I want him to stay as far away from the streets as he can. But got your son in here dropping, like, come on, man. That's not cool. He got to cut that out. And I've been saying that for a while because I've been seeing him do it for a long time. Again, I'm not in an age bracket with these cool young parents. I'm not trying to be a cool parent. When I say a cool parent, I'm 29 years old. I'm never gonna be cool with my kids smoking weed. I'm not gonna be when my kids smoking weed in my house, and I'm not gonna be smoking weed with my kids. I'm not gonna be allowing my kids to curse, allowing them to be a gang member. Say shit, that's what he grew up in. Fuck out of here. I grew up around gang-infested neighborhoods all my life. You think my mama would have been okay with me being a gang member? You think my father would have been okay with me being a gang member? That shit was all around me. In the school I went to, you know what I mean? In the neighborhoods we lived in through Chicago. Chicago is a gang-infested city in general. Like, gangs are everywhere, right? Everywhere within, like, a lot of the black communities and the Hispanic communities, right? And there's gangs in the white neighborhoods too, for real. You know what I mean? For sure. But it's gangs throughout, you know, the south side of Chicago, west side of Chicago, all of that. North side is gangs, a lot of different areas and different territories. But my parents would have never allowed me to participate in that. They would have never excused me or excused my behavior for falling into the traps of gangs. They would have never excused it. If they would have saw me throwing down a gang, they would have slapped the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying your son needs to be slapped. I'm not saying that your son needs to be slapped or nothing like that. I'm just saying he should have never been allowed to do that in the first place. Somebody needs to be correcting him. If that was my grandchild, and of course, it's only so much a grandparent can do because the grandparent is not the guardian of the child. But I would talk to my son like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Why do you think that's okay? It's not okay for him to do that. He's a child. Don't try to put him in those street stuff when he's a kid. That has nothing. What you got going on what you have going on in the streets has no bearings on your child. It shouldn't have no bearings on your child. It shouldn't be passed down like a rite of passage to your baby. Come on, man. We got to do better, y'all. And again, I enjoy Herb's music. I enjoy the music. I listen to the music often, for sure. But I'm not going to excuse that. That's not okay. That's disrespectful. That's like, come on, man. Let's not. That's just like, to me, that's like a form of child endangerment. Putting your child and you would pray nobody does anything to a child, that should never happen, right? So let me just say that. I'm not saying that something should happen to a child or people would want to take a child out or nothing like that, heinous or anything like that at all. That's despicable. But what I'm saying is endangerment to your child because now you're allowing your child to see gang activity and to participate in things that are disrespectful to other gangs, which as he grows up, he'll want to gravitate towards that more and more and more and more, considering one, what you do and what you throw up in your everyday life, and considering what you rap about in the environments that you come from. If you're not correcting him and telling him, no, don't do that, if you're allowing him to do that, he gonna go take it a step further and further. And people can say, well, Herb can stop that. He probably gonna stop that. Man, I hear you, but how many kids we know start to be rebellious once they get a certain age? And then they point to, well, you was doing that, Pops, and you was doing this, and you was letting me do this when I was a kid. So what's the difference in, you know what I mean? And again, he's the parent to say, I'm the parent, no, what I say goes, and no, that shit is not okay. But I mean, it just sets a bad example for your child to be doing that. Like, that's disrespecting the whole nation, come on, man, like, no, that's not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? That is not acceptable. It's not okay. It's not good parenting. And I could never co-sign a person doing that, no matter how much I enjoy that artist's music or anything like that. I could never say that's okay. I just think that's just, man, that's wrong, man. That's wrong. You know what I mean? I could never be like, oh man, that's cool for him to do that. I can never be like, I want my son participating in that. I think he should have nothing to do with that lifestyle you led. He should have nothing to do with that lifestyle that Herb led at all. Keep him as far away from that as possible. Let him be a kid. Let him, you know what I mean? Let him do kid things. And of course, I see him dressing up like Spider-Man and all that. That's cool, but he shouldn't be trying to be on no type of gang stuff and thinking that's okay. There's no way I can stand next to my son and watch him throw down a gang or throw up a gang. There's no way I could do that. Nah, cannot do it. And I'm older than her by about four years or something like that. But It's a time. It's a time where you got to grow up and you got to realize what's not okay for your children to be mimicking, right? And even at 25, I wouldn't have done that. But again, I wasn't a street kid, so maybe that's where maybe that's where the difference in views is coming from. But then again, I know street kids, people that were street dudes that don't want their child being anywhere associated with that lifestyle. They want their kids to be as square as possible. But it's just like, nah, bro. Nah, that's not it. That's not it. He shouldn't be letting that little boy do that. That's not okay, man. Let him be a baby. Let him be a boy. He's a baby. Let him have a better shot at life than you ever had. And of course, people would say, well, he got him living in this nice neighborhood, got him going to private schools. But when you trying to encourage him to do stuff like that, he's going to want to gravitate to that street shit eventually. Because he's thinking about, man, Pops used to have me doing this. Pops used to let me do that. He's going to want to gravitate towards that and find that attractive. He's going to find that the allure to gang life. He's going to find that as, wow, man, it's so interesting. And he's going to get sucked into that. He could get sucked into that, potentially. You want to curb that and stop that in its tracks. So that is not okay. That's not okay, man. I ain't with that at all. Herb, please do better with your baby boy, man. Peace.